Let this be a warning to all the viewers watching. So, I wanted to write about a scam I almost fell for recently. I haven't seen anything else out there about it. I don't consider myself gullible, and these people were prepared for savvy folks. The other day, I received a text message purporting to be from Bank of America, warning me that someone tried to send $3.5K to someone using Zelle. I was asked to respond yes if valid, and no if not. I of course have not authorized such, so I said no.
Say what?
Say what?
Say what?
Say what?
Say
what? What?
Say what?
I then received a call that appeared to be from Bank of America. It was the same number as on the website and the back of my debit card. They gave me their number and employee ID, and most importantly, they never asked me to share my personal info. However, the $3.5K transaction didn't show up in the records on my side. It was the steps they asked me to go through that made me suspicious. They wanted me to send money to myself to refund, quote unquote, the money that was supposedly stolen, quote unquote. They first told me that since Zelle is third party, they couldn't stop the transaction directly. They then asked me to send myself 2 money transfers to get my refund, one for $2.5K and one for $1K. They also had me give them a code that came from an email supposedly from Chase Bank, as they were the bank the stolen funds were sent to. I didn't give the correct code, just in case.
You dumb, stupid, or dumb, huh?
But after looking at the email details, the sender, etc., I didn't think it came from Chase at all. Usually when you get any type of email, always look at the origination dates. Usually it'll say at tdbank.com, at google.com, at amazon.com. If it's anything other than that, it's shady.
Hackers are impersonating Amazon, FedEx, UPS, and other major shippers, texting and emailing fake package tracking links to launch malware or mine for personal information.
Don't click on any links in that text or email. Don't press 1 to speak to a customer service representative. Hang up the phone, go to FedEx.com or USPS.com or DHL.com and put in tracking information yourself.
All right, everything looks like an Amazon order, except the first thing you need to look at immediately when you have a suspicious order is the heading of where it came from. So care at Amazon-US shipping. Okay, that's complete BS. What happens when Amazon orders for you is it's shipping at Amazon.com. That's it. Not any of this stuff, .co or anything like that.
I was suspicious at this point. I made a comment about how it won't let me do that because I didn't even have that much in the account. They then said that they do a refund for the 2.5K from their end. But I still needed to do the 1K transfer to get all my money back. I said that didn't make sense. If they could refund part from their end, then they should be able to do all. Exactly. He couldn't give a logical answer.
You said no, and the lie detector test determined that was a lie.
At that point, I hung up and called Bank of America directly. The lady said that the BOA texts only come from short text codes, and they don't call after that. If I say no, a transaction is simply denied, and there's no reason to call me. She confirmed that his ID number was false, and so was the procedure he tried to get me to complete. I'm not sure how the scam would have worked exactly if I had sent those transfers. I assumed they were trying to set up another Zelle account with my email address that would have collected the money I would have thought I was sending to myself. I'm not sure. On my bank, I used my phone number for Zelle, not my email, but they clearly have both. But they were good. They didn't ask for personal info. They spoofed the bank number and made up employee numbers. They were careful to be ready for savvy people who ask questions. They didn't expect me to hang up and actually called the bank, since it looked like they were calling from the bank. That is very deceptive. Kudos to them. And kudos to him for even picking up on that. While I was talking to the bank lady, they were trying to call me back. They tried a few times the next day too, Be careful out there, y'all. If anyone calls from quote-unquote your bank, hang up and call the bank directly right away. TLDR, what he learned. Banks only text registered short text numbers. These are almost impossible to spoof. If in doubt, hang up and call the bank yourself, always. I recall a situation where I was buying someone's OnlyFans, right? They brand themselves as a personal finance expert or whatever. I bought their OnlyFans to review the content and make a video about it. So I recall seeing this from TD, right? It said TD fraud alert, purchase $64.32, OnlyFans.com. And I guess this is similar to what you would get if some type of fraud alert did happen, right? They told me to apply Y if this was you, and N if not. So I applied Y because I knew that transaction. But I assume what had happened was he, the Redditor, put N, and then this is where the scam started. So again, at all times, if you're not sure, just call the bank, hang up on the number, and call the bank directly, right? Just to get a more authentic perspective on what may or may not be going on with your bank account. Someone comments, "Thank you for sharing. This is a new one. I have a quote-unquote never answer the phone rule. If it is important, they will leave a voicemail. If it is really important, they will also send snail mail." Facts. In general, no one tries to help me before I ask for help. So when someone says they are called to help me, I immediately raise an eyebrow.
This is not a test. It's the real deal. Help me. Help me. Nigga. Help me.
Yeah, that's a good way to live by. 3.3K likes. Someone underneath says, "I work in fraud prevention, and sometimes that requires calling a customer directly to verify that they authorize certain things. However, due to scams like what OP went through, we generally try to email and text to have the customer call in themselves, and we always understand if they don't feel comfortable talking to us when we call. I always tell them that if they want to make sure, due to all the scam calls people are getting, they can hang up and call the number directly on our website." Facts. It's always better to be safe than sorry. And if it's important enough to have you verify it directly, then it won't go through until you do, just in case it wasn't authorized. See, this is why I love Reddit. Reddit just opens your eyes to the world of scams. Just undefeated.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Someone only says, "I'm curious, when you tell people they have the option to hang up and call the main number, do they do it? Or does you saying that make them comfortable enough to continue?" Oh, that's a good question. Because saying that sounds like something a scammer would try, just to gain someone's trust. Another comment follows. "A cop called me at work once to get info on a tenant, rental property management, and was blown away when I asked for their name and badge number so I could call the precinct directly and confirm their authority before releasing any information. Seriously, you could tell no one did that. I never trust an incoming call. Always dial back." I like that.
You smart, you loyal, you're grateful. I appreciate that.
Another comment follows. "I work in a bank preventing fraud, and if anyone is remotely suspicious about a call out, I tell them straight up, quote unquote, if you are at all uncomfortable with this call, you can always hang up and call the number on the back of your card instead. I would rather have you confident in who you're speaking to. Sometimes people feel more comfortable after hearing that and proceed as long as no personal info is requested. As for the scams, the codes they were asking for are likely verification codes sent to your phone by either your bank or Zelle. They are attempting to get the transaction forced through, and in order to do so, many places require a two-step authentication to verify the transaction is yours, or verify they are in the phone with the right person. If you would have given them that code, you likely would be out 3.5K right now.
One, listen up. You didn't lose your money. Now, you have your... Technically, you kind of lost your money.
And another comment follows. My friend recently had this happen to him with Chase. Received a text about a transaction and responded no. Got a call from a number that had a caller ID that said Chase Bank and answered. The phone had an automated message. This call may be recorded and monitored, etc., etc. And the person on the phone had an employee ID number and official info. Only asked him to confirm his accounts with his name and I believe the last 4 digits on his card or something like that. Then sent a code to his phone and asked for it. Said everything was good and his account was safe. But while he was on the phone, my friend got an email saying that a new person had been added to his accounts. He immediately calls Chase Bank from their official number to find out that they hadn't called him at all. Within the 5 minutes it took for him to get on the line and lock his accounts, $3,000 had been stolen. Wow. Just 5 minutes? Sheesh. Holy. Don't cheese me, bro.
In terms of money, we have no money.
Even with immediate action to try and stop it, they still got that much. The scammers worked that fast. Thankfully, the bank has insurance for things like this, and he got his money back. But he had to open a new account and shut everything down, and the scammers still got their money. Always call the bank's official number. If they call you, hang up and call back just to be safe. It was wild and really troubling. Hopefully this info, like the post above, might help someone out there. Stay safe. And I'll leave y'all with the last 2 comments that I found were pretty profound. They got me on this one, and I consider myself pretty savvy when it comes to scams. I got the text from Amex that someone was trying to make a purchase with my credit card and asked if I approve yes or no. I, of course, said no, and they called me from the Amex within 2 minutes. This is where it gets weird. They had all my personal information, address, phone number, previous purchases, etc. They then sent a code to my phone and asked me to give it to them for security purposes. I still can't believe I actually gave them the code. An hour later, I got another text that a $1,800 purchase was made at the Apple Store. That's when I realized I'd been scammed. It all happened so fast, and that's how they get you. They know you will be in panic mode and not thinking straight. The whole thing happened within a 10-minute time span. As for them having my personal info, the only thing I can think of is that they somehow logged into my account. Lesson learned the hard way.
It's obvious what's being done out here. It's on a nightly basis. I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here, because it's getting ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Yes, man, this is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
And lastly, I think this pretty much sums it up. Said it before, and I'll say it again. If you have any doubts whatsoever, then hang up and call your bank directly. Don't let them call you. If the person who called you is adamant about you hanging up, then it is 100% a scam.
Told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
Simple. Simple, simple, simple. Hey man, I think that pretty much sums it up, bro. Always be cautious. Always be wary in these social media streets, on your phone. Any incoming call, if it's important, they'll leave a voicemail. And obviously, we all already know. Just take the number, search it up, and then you can probably get an idea of the type of phone call that was, right? Voicemail, and that's pretty much it, bro. But as always, hopefully you've been educated, you've been informed, and now you'll be better prepared to deal with your local scammers. But as always, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it, and too much of any good thing is good for nothing. How are you lot doing today? Say it with me. I am doing more, saying less, and keeping that same energy. No cap. Flip the script. I'm out. Deuces.
Moment that I met you, I'm around on so far like before. Even when I'm confused, you still love me like you're so damn sure. So baby, let me thank you.